Welcome everyone to this video about things nobody talks about, Season 6 from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I apologize in advance if I make any grammatical mistakes, so bear with me please. You already know, we already know, everybody knows already, there is a lot to unpack from Season 6. It's a very hard season, so I've tried to make the video as light-hearted as I could.
The torch I bear is scorching me. Buffy's laughing, I've no doubt. Help her out.
Kicking off the video with a polemic, I don't like the musical episode.
Yeah, bitch, I said what I said.
It's overrated. It's the best rated episode in the website IMDb. You can see on screen 9.7. It's a show off from Joss Whedon's part because he wrote and he composed the songs, the lyrics, and he thought, I'm more of capable of writing a musical episode, and you, viewer, you will see it. The songs aren't that good, the lyrics aren't that good, and like young people said, like the youth said, I could feel cringe the most of the episode. Don't get me wrong, I used to like musicals. One of my favorite films is Grease, but this episode, no thank you. I completely get why people love this episode. It was so innovative for the early 20s. Actually, TV series like Charm copied the way of create a musical episode of less than 50 minutes. But the worst part is that it's in this episode on which Buffy opens up about her emotions. She opens up about she being in heaven, not in hell, or at least she thought or she thinks she was in heaven, she being depressed, sad, and while she's saying these terrible things, this hard reality, she's singing and dancing. No one except Dark Willow in this season, I need to rewatch the 7th one, only Dark Willow brings this topic back. Dark Willow says to Buffy, come on Buffy, I know you were happier dead. It's the only time in your life you could feel happiness.
The battle's done and we kind of won, so we sound our victory cheer. Where do we go from here?
Understand we'll go hand in hand, but we'll walk alone in fear.
Tell me,
Where do we go from here?
And if the musical episode is so overrated, this one is the opposite. It's so underrated, and actually I completely forget about this one. I was able to recall a little bit of this episode thanks to this amazing and brilliant TikTok.
What's a movie that you look at differently with an adult set of eyes?
Alright, technically this isn't a movie, but this is for my fans of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, specifically the episode in Season 6 called Normal Again, because it's a great example of why you have to watch this show as an adult in order to get it. Because in that episode, Buffy gets attacked by this monster and then suddenly wakes up in this psych ward where she's told that the previous 6 years of her life where she's been fighting all these monsters was simply a delusion.
In her mind, she's the central figure in a fantastic world beyond imagination. She surrounded herself with friends, most with their own superpowers.
And throughout the episode, she goes back and forth between the two realities until eventually she ends up choosing the Sunnydale world that we know and love. And so you think that that means everything's okay, right? But this is the final scene of that episode.
I'm sorry, there's no reaction at all. I'm afraid we lost her.
And so as a kid, I hated that episode because I thought they were telling me that this show that I've been watching for the previous 6 years was just some delusion in somebody's mind. But as an adult, I know that every show is just some made-up fantasy in somebody's mind. What that episode actually was the most beautiful exploration of the relationship between perception and reality that I've ever seen on screen. Because the entire world around Buffy is just a metaphor for when kids go through stuff that kids shouldn't have to go through, and what it's like to have to deal with that level of trauma while other kids are apparently just doing just fine.
Open your eyes, Mom. What do you think has been going on for the past 2 years? The fights, the weird occurrences. How many times have you washed blood out of my clothing and you still haven't figured it out? Well, it stops now. No, it doesn't stop. It never stops. Do you think I chose to be like this? Do you have any idea how lonely it is? How dangerous? I would love to be upstairs watching TV or gossiping about boys or, God, even studying.
And so for children who go through trauma, after years of that trauma being all they've ever known, many kids get desperate to change that reality, or at least their perception of it, and that can lead down many dark paths, including substance abuse or doing bad things to themselves. And so after 6 years, even Buffy had had enough.
I don't want to go back there. I want to be healthy again. I want to go home with you and Dad. What do I have to do?
And so she's told that in order to sever her connection with the Sunnydale world, she needs to end all the people that she loves in that world.
Because what's more real? A sick girl in an institution. Don't. Please listen to me. Some kind of Supergirl. Chosen to fight demons and save the world. That's ridiculous.
Which is why this line from Spike really is the center of the episode.
So, she's having the Wiggins, is she? Thinks none of us are real. Bloody self-centered, if you ask me.
Because a huge part of growing up is gaining the emotional intelligence to fully appreciate that other people have their own realities too. They have the same thoughts, feelings, impulses, perceptions as you do. And so without that appreciation that other people are people too, we end up doing stuff that's selfish because we don't appreciate how our actions can damage others. And yes, that's heavily political because so much of politics is about who we see and treat as real people, whose lives we value, whose suffering we prioritize. And unfortunately, we naturally have more emotional empathy towards people that we feel we identify with, people we see we have something in common with. It takes maturity to know that everybody is people, not just us or the people who look and act like us. And while Buffy does take a while to learn that lesson, she eventually does figure it out. And that's the main message of that episode. But sadly, my child brain was just like, aw, monsters aren't real?
If you want a great analysis of this episode, I highly recommend you this channel, 5 Feet Geek. The title of the video is Normal Again, Buffy, Season 6, 17th episode, breakdown and review. Check it out because it's brilliant. And to make the things more complicated, while I was checking videos on TikTok, downloaded pictures, videos, I thought, wait, this episode maybe is linked with this one. The episode 18 from season 2, Killed by Death. This is another super underrated gem from Buffy. Nobody talks about this episode. Why? And actually, it's one of the creepiest from the whole series.
Buffy?
Whatever it is, it's not real, remember? Buffy, look at me. I believe in you. You're a survivor. You can do this. Be strong, baby, okay? I know you're afraid. I know the world feels like a hard place sometimes, but you've got people who love you. Your dad and I, we have all the faith in the world in you. We'll always be with you. You've got a world of strength in your heart. I know you do. You just have to find it again. Believe in yourself.
You're right. Thank you. Goodbye. Buffy.
Stop it. Somebody's gonna see.
And for obvious reasons, I won't speak about this hideous scene. I consider it would be so deftone, so dismissive, and so disrespectful speaking about this topic in this video. I hear you, I'm with you, I completely understand you, and I send all my love and strength to all the victims.
Annie up.
Hey, fine. I'm in.
You play for kittens?
So, who's gonna advance me a tiny tabby? Get me started.
Stay away from Brandy! Whoa, that was cool. I think I know why Joan's the boss. I'm like a superhero or something.
We're not related, are we? Older brother? Father. Why not just call me horny child? Vampire! They seem to all spikes. Let's give him these.
Ready, Brandy?
Chill.
Brandy!
Hey, I'm a superhero too! John, where are you going?
And I think I'm kind of gay.
But it certainly needs a good tidying.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes.
How come nobody talks about the chemistry showed between Giles and Anya in Tabula Rasa? This fact is clearly a foreshadow about the relationship between Anya and Xander. She doesn't even speak to Xander. Xander is more interested even in Willow. This demonstrates that Anya and Xander and Anya, they don't have nothing in common. Nothing. She says to him she loves him, he says to her he loves her. I don't think so. The base of the relationship is sex, nothing else. Well, but I will speak about the no wedding a little bit later.
Dad can drive. He's bound to have some classic midlife crisis transport. Something red, shiny, shaped like a penis. Be chased by
You're
the
a
fiend.
vampire.
Why the fuck no one is speaking about the Scooby Gang not helping economically Buffy with the house, with the bills, nothing. Tara and Willow live in the house for several months before bringing her back. So why they are not paying the bills? Oh, wait, and another thing. If they weren't capable of bringing Buffy back, how they would have paid the bills? Using magic? And lastly, I felt this so disrespectful. Willow and Tara sleeping in Joyce's bedroom and having sex in Joyce's bed. The poor woman has died only, I think, 2 months ago. What was this? What was this respect?
Lucky me!
Buffy, are you okay? We need to figure out what we're going to do about Willow. Yep. I just need like 30 more minutes.
And lastly, on this channel we dislike Anya and Xander, but Xander not getting married with Anya, I completely team Xander. I truly believe and think that fake future that demon implants on Xander's mind is actually the reality of their future together. We already know Xander is a super toxic character, but Anya is not that far away from being a super toxic character. She is the quote unquote typical woman, and I know this is a super machist and super misogynistic way of portraying a woman, but in the case of Anya, is a very demanding woman. She put a lot of pressure in the relationship since the season 4, since the beginning. Xander, where's our house? We are not going to have a house together. Where's your promotion? You don't have job, you don't have that, you don't give me this, you don't give me that. Give me a man after midnight. She demands a lot, but she gives sex. Being super rude and super honest. That's what she gives to the relationship, into the relationship. And I'm telling you, Anya is the typical person. I'm not going to say woman because it can be a woman, a man, but in this case it's a woman, it's an ex-demon. Anya is the typical person when you have a rough time, when maybe you get depressed, you get sad. She won't allow this. Or you recover quickly, you overcome the difficulties, or I will leave you. When people get married, they start to say, oh shit, I will still love you in the good and bad times. No, that's bullshit. And nowadays, even less. The people want you good, want you happy. They don't let you to have rough times, hard times. They don't allow you to be depressed, be sad. And Anya is like that people. Xander, no, don't be sad with that voice. Sorry, maybe it's the Spanish voice. You are sad, why? I don't understand sadness in people. It's a waste of time. So, or you overcome this hard time, or I will leave you. Because I have a lot of demons over there waiting for me. Funk of Anya Leave the people alone. Leave the human beings alone.
I'll crump with you, sweetie pie.